Prince Harry is furious, and this time it's not the tabloids or social media fueling his rage. It's two veteran royal biographers who've taken aim at the very core of the Sussex narrative. According to insiders, the Duke of Sussex is threatening legal action against Lady Colin Campbell and Tom Bower, after a televised appearance where both authors dropped bombshell claims that have left Buckingham Palace in panic mode. These weren't just casual remarks or baseless gossip. They were direct allegations aimed at Prince Harry's private life, including shocking inconsistencies about the births of his children, Archie and Lilibet. And the moment Harry caught wind of the broadcast, sources say he erupted, seeing lawsuits as the only way to shut it all down. But here's where it gets risky. Lady C and Bower aren't some lightweight commentators. They've built their reputations on pulling back the royal curtain, and neither one is backing off. If Harry pushes this to court, it might not silence the critics. It could blow the entire story wide open. The world is watching closely not just because it's juicy royal drama, but because this fight could rip open secrets the royal family desperately wants to stay buried. It all began during a televised segment that should have been just another round of royal commentary, but instead it turned into an all-out assault on the Sussex image. Lady Colin Campbell and Tom Bower didn't hold back. They tore into Prince Harry's behavior behind closed doors, claimed his personal narrative was full of holes, and then dropped the real grenade, disturbing questions about the births of Archie and Lilibet. The two alleged that unlike other royal births, Meghan's pregnancies were cloaked in secrecy. No traditional hospital photos, no clear confirmations from the palace, and no official timelines. Just vague announcements and unusual behavior. Tom Bower said his investigative team went as far as checking hospital records at the facilities where Meghan supposedly gave birth and found nothing. Lady C, as bold as ever, suggested that the lack of transparency might point to something even bigger, the use of surrogacy. For years, this rumor lurked in the shadows of royal gossip, but now it was on full display, aired to millions. The fact that such explosive claims were made so publicly triggered Harry's alleged meltdown, and now he's threatening legal action. But the broadcast didn't just question Meghan. It challenged the credibility of the entire Sussex story. Once Lady C brought up Meghan's unusual baby bump behavior on live television, it was like throwing gasoline on a fire. She looked directly into the camera and described viral videos where Meghan's stomach seemed to move unnaturally, folding, shifting, bouncing in ways that, according to her, no pregnant woman's belly ever should. Her blunt declaration, "No pregnant woman moves like that," set off a social media explosion. Viewers started sharing slowed-down footage, analyzing frame by frame as Meghan walked, sat, or bent forward. Clips that were once dismissed as odd camera angles suddenly took on new meaning. Surrogacy whispers, which had always hovered at the fringes of online conspiracy forums, now hit center stage. And the timing couldn't be worse for Harry, who has spent years trying to position his family as victims of media persecution. Now, the same media is weaponizing his own secrecy against him. But the bigger issue isn't just speculation. It's that these claims are finally being discussed on major platforms. And the more people start asking whether something was being hidden, the harder it becomes for the Sussexes to keep their tightly controlled image intact. Behind the scenes, Harry is reportedly scrambling. According to royal insiders, he didn't just scoff at the broadcast. He exploded. The idea that the legitimacy of his children could be up for public debate struck a nerve, and he immediately instructed his legal team to explore defamation lawsuits against both authors. But here's where it all gets murky. Suing Lady C and Tom Bower is not just a legal move, it's a risk. Both biographers are standing firm, with Lady C going so far as to practically dare Harry to sue her. "Let him sue me," she said confidently, suggesting she's got the receipts, and she's ready to use them. Bower, on his end, says his investigative work is backed by real sources, eyewitnesses, and possibly even palace documents. By threatening legal action, Harry may have hoped to scare them into silence, but instead he's poured fuel on the fire. Legal experts warn that if this goes to court, both sides will be forced to present evidence, and that could mean opening up private records Harry never wanted anyone to see. The legal threat, intended to be a power play, might end up exposing more than it hides. This controversy isn't just tabloid drama. It's a potential constitutional crisis. In the royal world, birth legitimacy is everything. It determines titles, inheritance rights, and even the public's trust in the monarchy's future. When Lady C and Bower questioned the births of Archie and Lilibet, they weren't just casting doubt on Meghan, they were shaking the very foundation of what it means to be a royal. Royal births traditionally follow strict rules. Doctors are named, official photos are taken on the hospital steps, and the palace provides detailed medical reports. None of that happened with the Sussex children. Instead, there were vague press releases, no photo ops, and a media blackout. Now, with the palace refusing to directly deny the allegations and issuing only a cold, no comment, the silence feels deafening. If these questions continue to circulate unchecked, it could eventually lead to challenges over Archie and Lilibet's legal status within the royal family. And for Harry, that would be catastrophic, not just personally, but publicly. What began as an attempt to keep his family private might now backfire in the most public and irreversible way possible. Tom Bower didn't stop with the birth rumors. He dug deeper into what he sees as a pattern of media manipulation by Harry and Meghan. On air, he claimed that every time the couple faces criticism, they deflect by throwing up shields. Racism allegations, security threats, and sob stories designed to paint them as perpetual victims. But, he warned, the public isn't buying it anymore. Bower argued that the couple's carefully curated image is starting to collapse under the weight of its contradictions. He pointed directly at their multi-million-dollar Netflix deal, their memoirs, and various interviews saying they've monetized their trauma, but now fear losing control of the narrative. The backlash is growing, and every legal threat just makes them look more desperate. Bower believes their brand, once built on independence and authenticity, is now defined by lawsuits, retractions, and public meltdowns. And Lady C didn't hold back either. She accused Meghan of marrying into the royal family expecting wealth and status, only to discover Harry wasn't nearly as financially secure as she assumed. That accusation struck a nerve online, as critics echoed the idea that the couple's media empire might be more about survival than storytelling. While Harry's team scrambles, Lady C has gone on the offensive. She's not just calling the Sussex narrative into question, she's saying she has proof. On the broadcast, she hinted at having access to hospital timelines, confidential medical logs, and statements from individuals who allegedly worked with Meghan during both pregnancies. According to her, if this ever ends up in court, she's ready to bring it all to the table. Every document, every logbook, every contradiction will be aired in front of the world. That kind of confidence doesn't come from speculation. It comes from hard evidence. Lady C has been embedded in royal circles for decades and isn't known for backing down. She's not concerned about being sued. She's inviting it. Her words weren't just commentary, they were a direct challenge. If Harry wants to prove her wrong, she seems eager to give him the stage to try. And that's what makes her so dangerous. She has nothing to lose and possibly everything to gain. Meanwhile, Harry has everything on the line. His children's reputations, his wife's credibility, and his legacy could all be destroyed if this spirals further. Now Prince Harry is facing the ultimate dilemma. Fight back or stay silent. But either path could destroy him. If he takes Lady C and Tom Bower to court, he risks having private documents, hospital records, and family timelines exposed under cross-examination. Everything he's tried to keep private could end up in the public domain. But if he backs off, it looks like he's afraid of what might come out. That perceived fear could validate the critics and embolden more attacks. Legal experts agree. Defamation lawsuits are double-edged swords, especially for public figures like Harry. Meanwhile, the palace's refusal to fully support him only adds to the isolation. As the pressure builds, social media has turned the issue into a wildfire, with viral hashtags demanding answers and millions of viewers analyzing every public appearance from Meghan's pregnancies. The longer Harry waits to act, the more control he loses. And as Lady C continues to taunt him with a mountain of alleged evidence, the world watches with bated breath. One move in the wrong direction, and the entire Sussex narrative could implode. In the end, this isn't just about courtrooms or media spin. It's about truth, power, and a royal legacy hanging by a thread.